Hello, my name is Miriam Zemanova and I'm an ecologist, which means that I study the relationship between plants, animals, and their environment. I did my studies in the Czech Republic, the United Kingdom, and Switzerland, and I could see that across different countries, animal use is still a standard part of university education. So, for example, my own training included dissection classes to learn about animal anatomy. But this knowledge could have been easily provided through humane teaching methods, such as models, images, or videos. Even though there are nowadays many humane teaching methods available, it has been estimated that in any country, up to 10% of animals used in experiments are being used for the purposes of education and training. And to identify the reasons for the continued animal use, I collaborated with Susanna Liebeck and Andrew Knight. And together we conducted a study in which we analyzed non-technical summaries of projects using animals within the European Union. Our results revealed that one of the main reasons for the continued animal use, as listed by the researchers or lecturers using animals, was the perceived lack of alternatives. But in our study, we were able to show that this justification is often not true. And in fact, there are nowadays many humane teaching alternatives available that could provide practically any intended learning outcome. And sadly, this means that a large number of harmful procedures done to animals could have been avoided if the potential of humane teaching methods had been fully realized. Animals have been considered an indispensable teaching tool for a very long time. But it's important to now finally move towards humane teaching approaches and to establish a culture within life sciences education that is efficient, ethical, and compassionate.
Hello, my name's Andrew Knight and I'm a veterinary professor of animal welfare. Before I was recruited to teach, I practiced small animal veterinary medicine, treating cats and dogs and other domestic pets, for most of a decade around London. And when I started in clinical practice, I was fortunate not to have the real challenges to self-confidence and competence that I think most new graduate veterinarians have to overcome. And in my case, this was largely because I had participated in an alternative humane veterinary surgical training program, during which I got significantly more experience, 5 times as much experience as my classmates. I think harmful animal use is probably more justified within veterinary education than in virtually any other educational field. And that's because veterinary students need to learn how to conduct surgery and other highly invasive procedures on animals. The fact that I and so many others have successfully graduated from alternative humane veterinary surgical training programs and gone on to become very successful practicing clinicians, I think proves quite clearly that it's not necessary to harm animals even to become a competent practicing surgeon.
My name is Susanna Liebeck and I'm a zoologist. Back when I was a zoology student, I opposed harmful use of animals, such as dissections. Prior to starting university, I'd ensured that I would be allowed to complete my studies without violating my ethics, but the topic came up often and I was continually questioned. I was even told by lecturers that I didn't belong in the biological sciences. It's always bothered me that this process was so difficult. Every new course and practical lesson required a new discussion before the professors would accept my stance and allow for an alternative approach. And even though it was considered acceptable for me to carry out the work using alternative methods, this was never offered as an option to my classmates. I always found the alternative approaches to be enjoyable and educational. One big benefit of not using animals is that you're able to repeat and train as many times as you wish and carry out the work stress-free in your own time. For me, this was a much better way of learning. My hope is that we can move forward and ensure that no animals need to be harmed for educational purposes when scientifically acceptable alternatives exist.